Hello, fellow, I guess fellow listeners. I guess fellow, yes, because I'll listen to this too. So yes, fellow listeners.
Mhm.
Hey, we're all in the same boat here. Hey. Anyway,
Hey.
welcome to the Anime Dudes podcast. My name is Bjorvio, and I am part of a balanced breakfast. Joining me on this breakfast escapade, we have the wonderful and nutritious.
Jack. No, the anime dad. That's my name. Anime dad, Riley. Hi.
And one of these days, we would like the Anime Dudes cereal to be a thing. So, Kellogg's, if you are listening, we want in.
Yes. Yes. I think it'll be shaped in little people and it'll just be no little faces. My face and your face. And it'll be mixed. And then when it goes in there, it'll change colors to be like a red, white, and blue, like All Might's uniform and like the American flag.
Somehow also you know how like some cereals when you pour the milk it starts popping. Ours will just you start pouring it in here. I am here. I am here. I am here.
Oh my goodness. That's actually perfect. All right, this is not being released as podcast because we need to trademark that before it does. That's amazing. Um, yeah, so how are you, Bjorvio? I don't ask too often, but how are you doing?
I'm better now that you asked. Um, I'm doing good, man. I've been busy with other escapades, but escapades is that the word? I
I
don't
think
think
so.
that's a word.
I think so.
Oh, did I? Okay, I just thought I made that up. Well,
No.
I've been busy making up words apparently, or using real words and trying to take credit for it by saying I made it up when it was actually not a real when it was a real word. So,
Yeah,
hey,
I also use big words to make myself sound more photosynthesis, and that always helps me. So, yeah, no. Thank you for the listeners who've listened. Thank you for the listeners. Thank you to the listeners who've listened. Please continue to listen and rate and subscribe and everything like that. That would be amazing. Today we're talking about the number one hero currently, Endeavor, and his students who are under him: Bakugo, Toda Turkey, and Deku, which he's still not dark, he's still light Deku. He's still happy. But we got those three. And what do you rate out of 10 All Might as a teacher with, let's say, Eraserhead's 10 on the list and present Mike is 1. No, I don't know, someone's 1. What do you rate him out of 10?
hmm. So you said All Might. Do you mean to do All Might and Endeavor at the same time, or like separate?
No, no, sorry, just Endeavor. What would you rate Endeavor out of 10? 10 being the best teacher in the world, 1 being the worst teacher in the world.
I mean, Endeavor makes a lot of really good points that and teaches them a lot of lessons. I think what really sold me on Endeavor being good at what he does and being a good hero and potentially a good teacher is when Deku's going on one of his rants and Bakugo and Todoroki and even one of his Endeavor's sidekicks are just like, what? And Endeavor like listens to the whole thing, goes, so basically you want to be able to use Black Weapon, you want to be able to do this and that. And it's like, oh, I as the listener didn't even catch all that. You, that's really impressive. Like that showed me that Endeavor actually cares and wants them to get better.
That's a really good point, because the fact that he didn't have any interest in them before, all his interest and his focus was focused on one particular thing, which is being the best, like no one ever was. To catch them is my real test. To train them
To
is my
train them is my cause.
endeavor. Yeah, no, he only had that one focus, but now he's got a bit of a change in heart, and he is, I like that he's so fast, and they can't even keep up with him. Not even Todoroki, who's meant to, is sliding on ice. He can't keep up with Endeavor.
No, and what's cool also is that scene. I love when, Bakugo's talking to Endeavor and he's like, I'm here because I don't know how else I need to improve. And then you see like him and, and they're trying to catch up to Endeavor and he's like, you're too slow, Bakugo. And he's like, oh, it's a cold day. It takes me a little bit to warm up. And then you see Endeavor like, well, just mere seconds could mean the difference between life and death. And he like stops a truck at that second to save a woman's life. And he's like, if you were to have been that slow, she wouldn't have gone home. How does that feel, Bakugo? It's like, oh, man, that's a really good way to drive home that point. A little bit over dramatic, much, but still a really powerful way of doing it.
Extremely powerful. I forgot about that. That was a really cool moment. And his agency is big. What do you think of his sidekicks? What's your thoughts?
So a lot of them seem kind of uninteresting. And a lot of them, I still don't really know what a lot of their quirks are. Like, there's the one dude we see in season 6 where he can change the trajectory of anything, and I'm
Yeah.
like, that's a like you. I think you mentioned in the last episode the guy that can melt things together. Like, yeah, that's a real bad power. I can see the ability to change the trajectory of things as a decent power, but no, I if no, also no, I cannot. But the girl with the green flame hair,
Hmm.
she's got a pretty stinking cool quirk.
What is it? Is it like she can take her hair and throw it and it's a flame?
She can like control her flame hair, I think. So she can like take it and make a spear or make like something resembling objects from it and do stuff with it. Um, or launch it or something like that. It's also how she flies, which is pretty cool.
Hmm. That is actually quite cool. You're right. It is a cool quirk, and she's got the ability to work with Endeavor, and that's a quirk in itself. I think that needs to be said. You know, that's a challenging quirk to work with Endeavor in that way. And Endeavor's obviously trying to get his family sorted, and he takes Bakugo and Deku. Or no, doesn't. Who invites Bakugo and Deku back to his house for dinner?
Shoto's sister does, who's for some reason her name is blanking on me. And I love that scene because it's like they pull up at Endeavor's house and Bakugo's like, "Why the crap?" My sister invited no, it's who the crap? My sister invited us for dinner. Why the crap? Like he just says the same thing, changes the first one. You can tell he's so mad, so uncaught off guard. And Deku's just like, "Hi, I'm Izuku Midoriya. It's so nice to meet you." And just typical Deku. I don't know why I gave him a Mickey laugh at the end, but hey.
No, that sounded like that was great. No, you're right, and it's just the contrast between them and seeing their little behind the scenes cuteness and how Bakugo says what everyone's thinking. The fact that he didn't want to be there because it's weird. It's a weird family dynamic, and it's kind of a he didn't want to be in an awkward situation with the family, which makes sense. And then that one brother. Which I'm blanking on the name as well. What's the one brother? The brother's name that got annoyed?
Natsu?
Hmm. Yeah, Natsu obviously getting kind of annoyed and not wanting any part of Endeavor still, even though he's making these changes and adjustments. Makes sense. You can see his point of view, and then they introduce that villain into the scheme. Now, what is the villain's quirk again? Could you explain it for the audience?
It's something along the lines of he controls like the arrows or something that direct traffic. It's not 100% clear. Like something along those lines. I don't know. Kind of weird, but the quirk is not what makes the villain. I think his motivation for like wanting to die and he wants Endeavor to kill him because he didn't so many years ago. So now he's like stalking the Todoroki family to get Endeavor to do this deed. And what a weird motivation.
Agreed. Agreed. Very weird motivation. Almost it reminds me a little bit of the hero killer's motivation, very slightly. Not motivation, but the hero killer said, "Only one man is worthy to take me down. All Might is
Hmm.
worthy." This guy felt like he maybe didn't want to live anymore, so he wanted the one man who he thought was worthy to take him down, and that ensuing fight was quite intense and different. Um, But I thoroughly enjoyed it because of the emotional undertones involved in that fight. The fact that that boy didn't necessarily want his dad to save him, or didn't necessarily want his dad's help in many ways. He was just, terrified. It was a really interesting dynamic. What was your thoughts on the fight?
There's a lot of really cool things that happen in this fight. Like a lot of them, they achieve what they're trying to do throughout the semester. They react before Endeavor does. They respond before Endeavor does.
Yeah.
Midoriya uses Black Whip for an extended period of time and saves so many people. Bakugo and Shoto do their own thing too, and they're helpful. And then there's a couple of things that I love in this scene as well, where Bakugo is like, "You see that, old man? We clearly were more superior than you," and clearly does not read the room at all. And Endeavor's like, "Yes, that was very good. Nice job, Bakugo." While he's like trying to take care of Natsu or something. But I love the line that Endeavor, like the exchange between Natsu and Endeavor, and where he's like, "I'm never gonna forgive you," this and that, and Endeavor goes, "I don't need your forgiveness. I'm looking for atonement," or something along those lines, because it shows like Endeavor knows what he's done. Like he is aware that he screwed up, and I think the scene at the Todoroki house really, you know, showed us how it affects the entire Todoroki family. And up until this point, we've really only seen Shoto and Raya, the
Mm.
mom,
Hmm.
how it affected them. But now we get to see um, the other Suzumi, I think is her name, and Natsu, and how it affects them and their relationship with Shoto and all of that. It's cool because the whole series has really been leading to this and onto this point. And I think this is the first time I truly realized how important the Todoroki family was to the story of My Hero Academia. What do you think?
Completely agree. You cover that really, really well, but you're right. They have an effect on the whole series of My Hero Academia, and Endeavor being the new number one hero and realizing that he not only wanted to save everyone in the world, but right now also he had to focus on saving his family, bringing his family together. So his number one hero title, or his depiction as well, to the masses would be as a family man who's not hated, who wants to help people. He needed to prove to them that he loved his family, and he wanted to help them as well as help random citizens too. So he's in a challenging position, and it's not easy for him to dig out of it, especially later on is what the things that are coming in the whole series. Um, yeah, yeah. So thoroughly enjoyed that particular exchange. Um, Anything else you want to bring out before we move on to some cool as improv?
There is a couple of scenes from the dinner that I wanted to bring up right quick. First off, I love how Natsu makes everyone kind of just stop in their tracks when they're eating. Like I love the expression of like Deku and Bakugo just eating, and then they both just freeze because of how uncomfortable he just made everything.
Yeah, really, yeah, really good. We all know that feeling, that sinking feeling of being awkward and uncomfortable at a person's house. I remember it as a child growing up and going to a friend's house for dinner or for a sleepover, and then the child, your friend, getting told off by their parents. You remember that feeling of being like,
It's a
"Mm."
train wreck. Like you don't want to look, but you can't look away. And you're just, what do I do? I'm in the same room. Am I gonna like what's gonna happen now?
No,
I don't envy that. I don't miss being in that position at all.
no, should I just go home? Yeah, no, really, really good. Now, if it wasn't for Endeavor, uh, if Deku and Bakugo didn't work under Endeavor, who do you think would have been another good person to work under in the field?
Oh, that's kind of hard because if Endeavor wasn't available, we know Hawks isn't available.
Mm.
Genist is missing at the moment. Um, so that would mean the next highest hero would be Edgeshot, and I don't know if Edgeshot's the right hero for those three specifically. I think it would need to be somebody like Gang Orca or
Comedy Woods.
um, Comedy Woods, maybe. I don't think Fat Gum would
Mm.
have much to teach them, but my gosh, I'd love to see a Fat Gum Bakugo interaction.
Yeah, that's actually that'll be really cool. They'd have a good dynamic. um, yeah, no, okay. Well, what was the second thing you wanted to bring out from the dinner?
The second thing actually goes back to a little bit of the first. A little, so there's a point where they're all kind of talking and cleaning up dishes, and everything's a little somber. And Bakugo just kind of walks in and you shouldn't bring up sensitive topics with guests around. And it's like, dang, he really does say what everyone else is thinking.
Mm-hmm,
Like,
mm-hmm.
like Bakugo, you can't say that, but at the same time, well done.
Well done. You're right. Even though he does say some terrible things, he's got a good sense of people, and he can judge scenarios, and he's got a good self-awareness. Even though he doesn't really care what
Mm-hmm.
people think, he's self-aware enough to understand situations, understand what people thinking, understand people's pure motivations. Like remember when back when they were having that provisional hero license exam, and that guy came over and acted all nice and whatever, and the earthquake guy, and everyone else in class 1A was like, oh, he seems so nice, wow, he's so nice. Baker goes like, you can drop the act in front of me. He puts on that he can see right through people because he has a good understanding of what people actually, what their intents are, what their motives are, because he's quite self-aware. So that's another example of him being self-aware and seeing the situation for what it is, and actually breaking the tension by saying what he said. Final example of that is when he takes Dinky around the back, makes him shock and go into
Yeah.
the mode, brings him back. Yeah, again, breaks the tension, self-aware enough to do that, and he also was aware that that would, bring the spirits back up to where they need to be. So Bakugo is a rock emotionally, and even though he can not have a filter now and again, I think his parents did quite a good job at bringing up this boy.
I think so too. And I think a little bit of that shows we get to see a little bit of the sensitive side of Kachan, which is still rough around the edges. But when they're getting in the taxi to leave, he looks at Fiumi and goes, "Don't forget you were going to send me that tofu recipe." And what's even better is later on, there's a side thing that he says to Todoroki, and I can't remember where this is, but Todoroki was supposed to be cutting up chives, and Bakugo holds it up, and it's just one string of chives, and he turns and says, "You dishonored your sister with this." And I'm like, "Oh, that's really funny." I've seen that scene like 3 or 4 times. And I never knew what he was talking about until recently. I saw it. I'm like, "Oh,
True.
that's what he meant."
Good picking up on that. That makes a lot of sense. No, there's a lot of undertones, and that's why we do this podcast. That's why we are who we are, and that's why we love My Hero Academia as much as we love My Hero Academia. There's things that we can pick up the first watch through, second watch through, and third watch through, and we're going to continue to learn as we talk. um, okay, well. Let's move on to the game show portion because I like the game show. It's a lot of
I
fun.
do.
Yeah. And you've got such a tremendous amount of incredible voices that I want to have fun with it. So I'll be the host again of the game show. And the game show is like The Price is Right, okay? The Price is Right game show. And let's bring in some people. So we've got Bakugo because he's in the show tonight. Let's go Todoroki. Todoroki, Bakugo. Um, I want you to try, even though I haven't heard you. Can you try Ida for me?
What's a line that he says? All right, everyone, no running in the halls. Hurry up now. We are just a couple of scoundrels looking for chicks.
Great. All right, Ida and and let's chuck Mickey Mouse in there. All right. All right. Welcome everyone to The Price is Right, My Hero Academia edition. Now, just let's introduce our guests. Firstly, we have a man who's got the fire in his belly and in his hands, Bakugo. Say hello, Bakugo.
You're all a bunch of nerds and nobody likes any of you. And just so
Great.
you know, I'm gonna win.
Oh, I like
You
that,
can't just
Bakugo.
make assumptions like that without being able to prove it. You must wait your turn before saying anything. The host was about to talk. No
You
one asked you, engine legs.
That's a very good eater, by the way. All right, moving on to Todoroki. He is hot and cold and has no personality. Todoroki, say hello.
Hello.
That I wouldn't expect anything less. Ida, the man with the glasses and the love for rules. Say hi to the nation.
Hello, nation. I wanted to wish everyone on this team to have a fantastic game and know that we will have it. We will play fair, and whoever wins wins fairly, and will get all of the prize. Thank you so much. And now, please pay attention to the next contestant over here. My turn is now over.
Yeah, you one crazy mofo. Person eater. And then finally we have, what about Bakugo's close friends? I don't think I've met you before, but I've heard that you and Bakugo go way back. You were in kindergarten together. Say hello, Mickey.
Well, hello, everybody. Of course, we were in elementary school together. In kindergarten, it was me and Midoriya and young Kachan all together. And golly, he used to pick on me all the time. He'd say that my quirk wasn't all that good.
That's because it's not nerd.
Good job. Well, welcome
Bakugo, what
everyone.
did I say about speaking out of your turn?
Today we have a very unique item on The Price is Right. The item here is All Might's assigned pair of All Might's underpants, and it's after the battle of the Vinegar Lake battle. All right, so it's unique, it's different, and we need to know how much you think it would cost. Let's start with Bakugo. What's the cost there?
I would say probably about 12,500 zenny.
All right, well, that's not bad, Bakugo. No sly comments on the underpants thing, I see. I thought you were going to say something about your underpants being worth more, but that's okay. Moving on to Todoroki. What is the cost of these pants?
I don't know. I could probably put it on my dad's credit card, but if I had to guess, probably about 10,000 zenny.
10,000, not bad at all. Ida, you're next. Don't fanboy over these underpants, all right? And calm down when you talk. Remember, this is a show where I'm in charge. All right, Ida?
I can make no promises, but I will do the best that I can. So if we are going to look at these underpants and determine the cost of them, then I believe that the cost is equivalent to 20,000 yen. Zenny, yes, I need to remember the currency of where I am, of course.
Those actions, for those listening, he's doing some great actions. Check it out on YouTube. And Mickey Mouse, final option. What is the price for these signed pairs of All Might's underpants?
Well, if we were to sell these at my home in Disneyland, it would probably be about 200 yen. I mean, zenny. Now Ida's kind of rubbing off on me. But since we're not there, I would say 50,000 zenny.
Mickey's the
Why, you think you're
closest.
better than All Might? Bakugo, what did we say about speaking out of turn?
Mickey is the closest. It is 100,000 zenny. These All Might underpants. So Mickey gets them, and you can wear it as a hat, Mickey, if you require so. Mickey's first. Seems like Bakugo's last, which is something that happens regularly in his life, I've heard. But what do you think, Bakugo? What's your thoughts?
Shut up! Nobody watches this show anyway. Tens of people watch this. Many people watch this show, Bakugo. Have you not seen the ratings? Do you not know how many people? Did you not investigate the number of audiences members that are on there per time and the ratings before coming on the show? What is wrong with you, man? You need to go get an oil change because you're overheating. Amazing. This was a lot of fun. Thank you for letting me be on the show. So the rookie would be speaking out of turn. I'm so sorry.
Well done, Bjorvio. That was a great combination of people.
Oh, my arms hurt. Oh, how does he do that?
I thought you were going to punch yourself in the face there.
Came close a couple of times, but it was like in order to channel the Ida, I've just started moving my arms. I'm like, yes, this is what he would say.
You channeled him.
But you really can't do it without the arms.
You can't. No, that was on point. That was really good. And yeah, like I said, for those listening, check out the YouTube of this particular episode because you're going to love Bjorvio's arms. All right, Bjorvio, well, take us out if you can. And because next week we're talking about the villain, my villain academia. Could you take us out in Shigaraki's voice, maybe, if you see fit?
Sure.
Well, it's about time we finally get to the most important part of this podcast that we'll ever show when we go into My Villain Academia. You won't want to miss it. Please give us a rating and follow us on all the platforms. You know the drill. You're smart. Now, we'll see you next week. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when, because I know you're going to want to hear this story.